Okay, so I'm going to show you how to use Google Forms to make a choose your own adventure story. As you can see over here on the left, I have the graphic organizer completed. I usually tell my students that it doesn't need to be super detailed. They can add more detail in the actual form. This is just kind of a basic storyboard to show where the stories are going to lead to. So over here, you'll start by creating a Google form. As you can see that there are 15 boxes and each box correlates to a different section on the Google form. So you'll need to keep adding sections until you get to 15 sections. And once you get to 15 sections, then you are good to move on. And so you can see just clicking this one, it looks like a really bolded equal sign. That's how we add sections. So once it says of 15, you know you have 15 sections. In the first section, I usually just start off with the title of the story. And in each description, that's where you'll write the paragraph that goes with each part of the story. So in this one, I would write, as you can see here, Katie is getting ready to trick or treat. And she can't decide which costume to wear. Now the situation is where I put in the untitled question. So where I put the actual question, that's where I put the situation. So I would put which costume should Katie wear? And it automatically starts as a multiple choice question. So each of the two choices or options for the multiple choice would be each of your options in your situation. So for this one, I would put princess as the first option. And then here for the second option, Supergirl. As you can see, section 1 here correlates with section 1 in the graphic organizer. Then I go here in section 2, as you can see the box with the bolded 2, that's section 2, and that's where it leads to if the answer is princess. If they select that she should wear a princess costume, it will take us to section 2. So section 2, I like to title this one, whatever answer leads me to this box. So I would title it princess because if they selected princess, it would take me to section 2. Then, just like before, in the description, I write where the story continues. So in my graphic organizer, I put Katie gets ready and goes out. Again, this is where I would have the students put in a lot more detail and usually write at least a paragraph in this area. But for time's sake and for this, I'm just putting a sentence. Now, the first section automatically comes with a question. So section 2, I need to add a question, which is the plus mark. Or the plus icon. And then again, in the question section, that's where I put the situation. So should they go to the left or the right? And each of these options, again, is which are the choices. So the first one would be left and the second one right. And then so on and so forth. You can see in section 3, that's where in the graphic organizer, you can see if they choose Supergirl, it would take them to section 3. So I title section 3 Supergirl. Then I add in my description. Katie can't find her cape. And then I use the plus icon to add my question. Should she change costumes? And then my two options, yes and no. So I would go through and I would do this for all 15 sections. Note though that for sections 8 through 15, these are your different endings. So you won't add questions. You'll just write in which section led you here and then what your ending was. So for example, my first ending is in box 8. And if they select yes, from box 4, it would take them to section 8. And the ending is when they walk over to the house, they see a scary ghost and run away screaming. I won't have a question in any of them, sections 8 through 15. So once you have the entire Google form filled out, all sections 1 through 15, now it's time to start linking them. So if we go back to section 1 and you click on the question, down where the 3 dots are, you can see their description or go to section based on answer. And that's what's going to create that choose your own adventure format. So then I'll look here and princess. If they select princess, it should take me to looking in the graphic organizer section 2. So I would put section 2. If they choose Supergirl, looking at the graphic organizer, that would take me to section 3. So I would choose section 3. And then so on and so forth. Looking at section 2, I'll click on the question, go to the 3 dots, go to section based on answers. So looking at the graphic organizer in section 2, if they choose left, it should take me to section 4. If they choose right, it should take me to section 5. And that's what you'll do all the way through sections 1 through 6, linking each of the answers to the corresponding box that they go to. In section 8 and on, down here where it says after section 8, continue to next section, you'll want to click there and just say submit form. So each of these will end the story. So for sections 8 through 15, underneath at the bottom, after section 9, submit form. After section 10, submit form, and so on and so forth. And then once everything is linked, that's when the students can go back through and they can add images. I'll usually have them change the theme, put in any extra details that they want to really personalize their story. And then once they're done, they can hit send and start sharing out their Choose Your Own Adventure stories.